Should you pay to skip the line in Disney's Animal Kingdom?
I have Lightning Lane Multipass.
And I don't. And we're gonna find out.
Sorry, that sounded rude.
Yeah, it was a little rude.
Yeah, that's a little rude.
I am kicking off my Have a Challenge just a bit after rope drop. Rope drop being right when the park opens. It is 8:17 right now, so just past rope drop. The park opened at 8 this morning. We are heading straight for our most scary ride of the day, which is Navi River Journey over in Pandora. Now, our experiment today, our test, is just for Lightning Lane Multipass, so we are not addressing Lightning Lane Single Pass with Flight of Passage. Although I can tell you, I do actually recommend getting Lightning Lane Single Pass in this park because Flight of Passage right now is a 70-minute wait. Navi River Journey is a 20-minute and everything else is 10 or 5. So if we had Lightning Lane Single Pass for a little later in the day, then that Flight of Passage wait time wouldn't be so scary. If you do not want to buy Lightning Lane Single Pass, then I instead recommend rope dropping Flight of Passage. Get here as early as you can. That includes using that early entry if you are a resort guest of 30 minutes prior to the park open. If you're not a resort guest, you're probably still looking at an hour-long wait for Flight of Passage, but that can be a whole lot better than the 90 minutes it might be later. And the absolute best way to do it is if you plan to be in Animal Kingdom towards the end of your park day, right at the end of the park day, riding Flight of Passage right at the end of the day can often get you on in 30 minutes or less, so that's pretty awesome. And another option for sure. But we're testing Multipass today. Is it worth it in this park? We're gonna find out. Now, what is Lightning Lane Multipass? Lightning lanes are Disney's skip the line option that let you bypass the standby line. There are two ways to access Lightning lanes. You can access them with Lightning Lane Multipass or Lightning Lane Single Pass. Lightning Lane Multipass lets you skip many different lines around Disney World for one date-based and park-based fee. You purchase it for the first park that you will use Lightning Lane in. With this one, you can book up to 3 Lightning Lanes at any time, and once you use one, you can book another one so that you always have up to 3. With Lightning Lane Single Pass, you can skip some of the most popular lines in Disney World and this park. That would be Avatar Flight of Passage. These are not included in Multipass, and you can purchase them for one date-based and ride-based fee. Whatever you're buying, you can purchase them in advance and make your initial skip the line selections in advance as well. For Walt Disney World Resort Hotel guests, that is 7 days in advance. For non-resort guests, that is 3 days in advance. If you want to learn more about the system and make sure that you have all the basics down, I made a nice 15-minute video that will talk you through everything that you need to know in just those 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes, honestly, so that you can come here and feel prepared. We also have challenges in every single park, where I get every single Lightning Lane in each park in one day to show you how the system works in the different parks. And we're working on doing perfect days in each of the 4 parks utilizing the new system. All right, our first stop of the day is Navi River Journey. Navi River Journey is probably the second most long line to ride in this park. It is already up to a 30-minute wait as of 8:24. So we're gonna hop in line for this one. I'm hoping this is our one line because hopefully we still make it on others before their lines start to tick up for the day. Navi River Journey is a slow-moving boat ride through the Valley of Moara, showing you the local plant life here in Pandora from the world of Avatar, and bringing you up close with a very amazing animatronic of a Navi shaman, which is really cool. That's my favorite part of the ride. And it's a posted 30-minute wait. Let's see how long we actually wait.
I have arrived. It is 9 a.m. and Quincy's already at the park. Quincy's been doing her thing because I have Lightning Lane Multipass today. I did get to sleep in an extra hour. My first Lightning Lane of the day started at 8:45. I'm a little late because, you know, life. But for my first Lightning Lane of the day, I am headed to Kilimanjaro Safari. So let's go. So if you are currently staying at a Disney resort at the time of your visit, you can actually choose your Lightning Lanes up to 7 days in advance. But if you're just a normal park guest like I am today, you can actually choose your Lightning Lanes up to 3 days in advance. So definitely a huge perk for resort guests. You definitely have to pick of the litter. Definitely choose them before anybody else can. Just to give you a brief example, 3 days ago, we woke up at 6:45 because at 7 a.m., that's when you can 3 days in advance, that's when you can book your Lightning Lanes. There's several attractions that were already sold out, meaning the resort guests had kind of taken them all up already. So, but for right now, it looks like it's about a 30-minute wait. We are going to scan and see how long it actually takes us to get through the line.
10-minute wait, not even. I got mine at 25, it's 33, so 8-minute wait. not too shabby. All right, we're gonna head on to Kilimanjaro Safaris now. That is our next weight that will kind of get a lot higher as the day starts to go on. And that one right now is posted 25. Let's hope it's a little shorter. So remember when we got in line, the wait time said 30, it now says 20 for Navi River Journey. Yeah. This is really demonstrative of how wait times work in the early morning and why that rope drop period is so important. And that's because wait times in the morning, Disney doesn't have enough data yet to accurately predict where the crowds are flowing, where the people are. Once people start getting in line, Disney can get a little more data about how long the wait times are, and the wait times are gonna get a little more accurate as the day goes on. The first thing in the morning, they're kind of making their best guess. And so with Navi River Journey, it wouldn't be out of hand for it to get to 30 minutes that early. But when they realize it isn't, you see that it drops to 20 minutes. They're just making a solid prediction, which is why oftentimes wait times are gonna be a little bit shorter than posted. The only exception to that is gonna be those most popular rides in the park. Flight of Passage is up to 90 minutes, and it does look 90 minutes based on the line. So those like single most popular rides in the parks, usually those wait times are gonna be pretty accurate because every single day a lot of people are gonna rush there. But other rides, their wait times might be a little wonky, a little higher than they actually are in the mornings.
That was great. That was a really, really active safari, which if you want to get a really active safari, do Kilimanjaro Safari either earlier in the morning or later in the evening, those cooler temperatures. Because when it's hot, the animals just want to chill out. They want to nap, they want to eat. The middle of the day, hey, the animals definitely get that midday burnout, if you know what I mean. Same way we do. So definitely look for those cooler temperatures. And also sometimes even after it rains. Yeah, that's a good one. Another big tip if you're really trying to get the most out of your Kilimanjaro Safari experience, sit as close to the left as possible. Yes, it is an open air bus and animals are 360 degrees around you, but a lot of the activity happens on the left side. But you know what you can always count on? The saddle-billed stork. So it's like the one bird, that one animal in that attraction that's like the mainstay. The saddle-billed stork is the star. At one point, there was like a rhino to the left, like a full-on rhino. And the driver was like, and to the right, you can find the saddle-billed stork. Yeah, well, you know, told us a bunch of facts. I was like, yeah, nobody cared about that rhino. While I was in line, I was able to book our next lightning lane. The furthest one out was Kilimanjaro Safari. I do have a feeling I can modify that to a much earlier time, but right now all of my lightning lanes are overlapping except that one. So I'm gonna do my best to spread them out just a little bit and modify when I need to. That way I can actually have a little bit of time to get from place to place. Now, for the purposes of today, we are not doing any shows or meet and greets because you can grab lightning lanes for certain shows and specific meet and greets. But for now, we are just lightning lane multipass riding today. But for the purposes of learning, let me show you how to modify if you want to modify. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your My Disney Experience app and you're gonna go to where it says My Day. That's where you'll see your plans for the day. And you'll see currently my 3 lightning lanes for the day are Navi River Journey, Expedition Everest, and I have Cali River Rapids. I already did Kilimanjaro Safari, but you get, right now, currently what I have left is this. Let's look at Cali River Rapids. You're gonna click this, the 3 dots, and modify plan. And then it'll give you the earliest time available. Right now it says 12:25, and you can change it to that time if you wanted to push a little bit later, or you can continue to refresh. Refresh, just pull down refresh to 12:30. 12:30, and occasionally, if you're really lucky, you'll be able to get a much earlier time. For example, this morning, originally 3 days ago, my Navi River journey was at 2:30. This morning on the way in, I just modified, I was modifying, and I modified it to 9:25. See, there we go. So the Modify tool is definitely going to be your best friend if you want to hopefully get an earlier time. You want to optimize, do as many things as you can in the shortest amount of time. Or let's say you're running behind and potentially you need to push it back. You need to say, hey, you know, I can't ride this right now. You can use the Modify tool that way as well. We are skipping Flight of Passage today because it is not included in Lightning Lane Multipass. It is only included in Lightning Lane Single Pass, which is an additional fee having nothing to do with Lightning Multipass that you can purchase to ride the biggest e-ticket attraction rides. We're talking Single Pass, we're talking Flight of Passage here, Rise the Resistance over in Hollywood Studios, Cosmic Rewind over in Epcot, like the attractions to be on.
All right, lots of folks are headed for Kilimanjaro Safaris this morning. Kilimanjaro Safaris is a safari attraction where you ride in a safari truck through recreations of an African safari. It is really amazing because you do see real life animals in habitats that very closely resemble their natural ones. It's a beautiful attraction, one of my favorites in Disney World. The ride is never the same because they are real animals. A posted 25-minute wait is not bad for this ride, and hopefully it'll actually be a little bit shorter because it is still early. This is also the best time to ride this ride because early in the morning the animals tend to be a little more active before it gets super hot. In the line you can see these guys. These are gray crowned cranes. They're one of my favorite types of birds. This is a mated couple. They mate for life, and one time they had a baby in here and it was awesome. There was like an egg for a while, and the reason I like them so much is because gray crowned cranes, one, mate for life, and that's cute, and two, they dance with each other in the morning, which I already saw him do, but I didn't catch it on camera. They're so cute.
Navi River Journey is literally Kilimanjaro Safari, but just a different world, and it's a boat ride. That's kind of how I have to think about it now, because if you don't think about it that way, and like this is just a boat ride when not a lot happens. No. You got to think of it like a safari. You are experiencing the bioluminescent rainforest and plant life and animal life of Pandora. Lightning Lane Multipass, I'll be honest, with my experience with it, and I've done many challenges now, had a lot of time to really, finesse it and play with it. I do really enjoy it, and I think it is much better than Genie Plus. For me as a human, specifically because, for me as a human, as if I'm not a human, I meant for me, like personally for me, because I was so bad with Genie Plus. There was this 2-hour cooldown, like you only after 2 hours, then you could book your next one. Or there's all this like setting an alarm and reminding myself, oh, and now it's time. With Lightning Lane Multipass, all you have to do is you just scan in and then you can book your next one. There are no timers. It's fairly simple, which I really enjoy. But be aware there are some attractions like that one where you are gonna have to scan in twice before you can book your next Lightning Lane. While I was in line, I was able to book Dinosaur, which is honestly just the one I saw first. Animal Kingdom is different because, well, there are not as many attractions here as there are in other parks, and it's typically the least busy park. So typically with a solid rope drop strategy and some quick thinking, you're able to do most everything here fairly quickly. So I saw Dinosaur on the list and I was like, well, I think why not? Let's just go for it. But we are not headed to Dinosaur. We are actually headed to Kilimanjaro Safari because that is our next Lightning Lane. Because they are all pretty much overlapped, we don't have to worry about waiting for the next one because we were able to get them all pretty much around the same time and modified to earlier times. So we don't have to kill a bunch of time in order to wait for our next Lightning Lane, which is great. But you are doing a little bit of rushing around. All I'm saying is if you do have time and you show up to your Lightning Lane a little bit early, don't worry, there is a grace period. You can scan in 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes before your time. And yes, there is a grace period afterwards as well. Expedition Everest is a coaster attraction where you are off to see Mount Everest. But unfortunately, the only way to see Mount Everest is through the Forbidden Mountain. And who lives in the Forbidden Mountain? A vicious Yeti. You're trying to get away from a Yeti. It's terrifying, but also a lot of fun because there's a point where you do go backwards. So let's go.
Okay, we're off. It was just a 20-minute wait for Kilimanjaro, which is great for Kilimanjaro. great safari. The lions were up, the cheetahs were so active, it was awesome. Every time I ride that ride, I learn something new about animals, and I will share my new tack today with the white rhinos. They have two horns. The horn in the front is for protection. The horn in the back is called the hairstyle horn, which they shape on trees so that they can tell each other apart, which is wild. But cool. We also shape our hair to tell each other apart as humans. All right, Animal Kingdom makes things easy because after those two rides, you don't really have to worry about the other ones. We're just gonna check wait times to make sure we're not seeing any weird spikes. The only rides left on MultiPass that we have in this park are Expedition Everest, Dinosaur, and Cali River Rapids. So we're gonna head to Cali River Rapids next, I think, unless anything's starting to look like it's getting longer. No. Still 5 minutes for Dinosaur, 5 minutes for, or 15 minutes for Everest, 5 minutes for Cali River Rapids. So Cali is, which means we won't have to do any backtracking. Lines are officially getting a little longer on the other side of the park. Navi River Journey and Kilimanjaro Safaris are both up to 50 minutes. Flight of Passage is up to 60 minutes, or down to 60, I should say. It was at 70. And Everest is increasing. But Everest line, as long as it's below 30 minutes, it usually is much lower than that. Cali River Rapids is our next stop. This one can actually get a long line in the hotter months. It is a water ride, it's a raft ride. You can get very, very wet on this, which I'm hoping does not happen to me. But a 5-minute wait is not too shabby. This is a classic water raft ride attraction. This is not my favorite. In fact, it's my least favorite ride in Disney World, and I like water rides. I really like raft rides. But this one doesn't have the fun of a raft ride. There's only one real drop, and otherwise it's just kind of maybe a couple of nozzles. The theme is logging, which, though important to talk about, is not exactly the most fun theme for a raft ride. And often when I get off of it, the kids in my raft will say something like, "That was it," when we return. So it's not my favorite. Unless you super need to cool down, definitely don't wait a really long time for this one, because I think you'll end up a little disappointed. But 5 minutes is not bad, and it's starting to get hot already. This was a walk-on. I've walked all the way here, and now I'm getting on. I guess I'm gonna get soaked.
Looking at our times thus far, we have yet to spend more than 3 minutes in line. I believe our highest so far is 2 minutes and 7 seconds in line, which is kind of wild because Animal Kingdom. Okay, now if you actually don't have Lightning Lane for this attraction, but you're still looking to hopefully cut down your wait time a little bit, Everest does have a single rider line. So if you're willing to separate from your family in order to cut down your wait time, because you will be separated from your family, you can use single rider. Not a bad way. We use that more times than not. I can't remember the last time I saw the inside of that queue because we're doing single rider so often, even when we're together, because we don't want to wait that long. Finding the Big Blue and Beyond. What a great show. I can't see you today, man, because I'm just doing rides. I can't. Live entertainment's important. We have made it to Dinosaur, a dark ride attraction, but it's not really a dark ride like Pinocchio or something like that. No. This is a thrilling dark ride attraction. You hop into a time rover and you go back in time to bring back a dinosaur to present day, but you're too close to the extinction of all the dinosaurs. You gotta get out of that comet. You gotta get away from that comet. So it can be very scary. I mean, read the signs. Please read the warnings. Dark places and scary dinosaurs. Should also say very loud noises, because that's true too. So this one was a pretty short wait for the standby line as well. It looks like it's a walk-on, so it's 10 minutes. But for us, it was only 42 seconds.
Surprisingly, my whole boat came out without getting that wet. Typically, one person or two people really get soaked, and then everybody else gets splashed. My whole boat, everybody just kind of got splashed this time. I don't know, kind of a lucky go of it, because it's enough to pull me down, but not enough to really get me wet. So that's pretty cool. Probably done. Waited no time for that. Then on Expedition Everest, which last I checked was up to a 20-minute wait. But if you see Everest, 25 or lower, it's gonna feel like a walk-on 99% of the time. So go ahead and ride it. Everest also does have a single rider line, But we're not going to be using that today because this experiment is to show if you and your family should pay for Lightning Lane Multipass, not just if you're an individual. Although if you are there as a family, if you are willing and able to split up, that single rider line is a great way to skip the line at Everest. Whether you want to ride it again because you do have Multipass or you just want to get on Everest quickly, single rider line works like a charm even when it's busy. Expedition Everest is a roller coaster, a very exciting one that takes you into the Forbidden Mountain on your way to a journey to Everest. Now, there are rumors that there is a Yeti in the Forbidden Mountain. I don't know about that. I don't think Yetis are real. But, you know, we'll see. Alright, got to the number 1. I am exiting. I chicken exit Everest a lot. We still get the wait. I'm still going to wait for the duration of the ride, which is 3.5 minutes. But Everest does make me sick, gives me headaches. So instead, I'm not going to ride it. And I encourage you to do the same if you have a ride that feels like it's going to be a little too intense for you, whether it's too scary or might make you a little sick. So I am passing on Everest. But it was exactly 20 minutes. So that post-it was exactly right. Another 20-minute wait in the bank for us. We're going to wait 3.5 minutes here, and then we will go ride Dinosaur and be done.
Wow, Sage, your Lightning Lane Multipass strategy is so good. I know, thanks, Stuart. Stuart the dinosaur, you're the best. No, Sage, you're the best. I love the dinosaur attraction. It is personally one of my favorites here at Animal Kingdom, and I'm going to cherish it for as long as it's around because at some point it will be replaced. Earlier this year, it was announced that the entire Dinoland USA would be replaced with a Tropical Americas section, making space for an Encanto attraction, a brand new Indiana Jones attraction, and a fun little carousel. While I am bummed to see Dinoland USA, which slowly became, was one of my least favorite lands, slowly became one of my favorite lands, I will be sad to see it go away, but I am always excited for the future because as Walt Disney said, keep moving forward, baby. Well, he probably didn't say the baby part. That's a Sage original. I'm headed to my very last ride of this challenge. Earlier I told you, I spaced everything out just a bit because everything was overlapping so much. I was nervous for literally no reason. But because I booked my Cali River Rapids kind of further out, and when I say further out, not far out, literally 11:15. I do have a little bit of time to wait. I did go on the My Disney Experience app, and I did my best to modify, but nothing really budged. We have found that trying to modify a lot before the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock time is your chances of getting earlier times are more slim, but that doesn't mean it can't happen, just means it's a little more slim. Okay, Cali River Rapids is currently a 30-minute wait, and it is a water ride, a raft ride, where you get to view this basically like Asian rainforest, where you find, unfortunately, devastation, logging, things on fire. It's just terrible. But it all leads down to one singular thrilling drop. Now, the drop is fun, don't get me wrong, but it is just one. So this is definitely not my favorite ride in the park because often the 30 to 50 minute wait is just not worth the one drop.
Okay, I am off Everest and on our final ride, which is Dinosaur. This is what I'm actually a little nervous about because Dinosaur can have kind of an uptick in lines. This attraction is on its way out. We know that it is getting replaced with an Indiana Jones attraction when the Dinoland USA land is replaced with Tropical Americas. I'm very excited for the retheme of the land. I love Dinoland. I'm very sad to see it go, but I'm also really excited for all the things that are coming, like an Encanto ride and a new carousel and a new hacienda. There's a lot of really fun stuff is coming over there. So I am excited, but my biggest loss is definitely Dinosaur. Dinosaur is one of my favorite rides in Disney World. It was my favorite ride for a long time when I was a teenager, and Thrill was kind of the priority. I love Dinosaur. I have lots of great memories on it with my family and my friends. So it's just gonna be a hard one to let go of. Dr. Seeker and the just awesome script and story on that ride. It's just sad, but more good things to come. Hopefully Indiana Jones rules, and we just have fond memories of Dinosaur and an amazing new ride to go on too. Dinosaur is an intense attraction. It is a dark ride. But not like Peter Pan, not like Winnie the Pooh. It is an intense dark ride. Shakes you pretty hard. It's very dark, very loud, very scary. There's scary dinosaurs. For a long time, this is the only ride in Disney World that did scare me. So definitely an intense one. Make sure to read the warning signs. It is pretty common to hear a kiddo kind of losing it on this one because they weren't expecting it to be as scary as it is. But we are gonna head in. I'm very excited. I love this one. I don't think this is gonna be a 10-minute wait. Well, you pretty much just saw the whole wait. It was about a minute because we're in the pre-show.
It's me, I knew it.
That was so much fun. I love that ride so much. I'm listening to music this morning, and I've been turning it off for rides, but I forgot to before dinosaurs started, and I put my phone in my bag, so I was like, well, I guess I'm listening to music. And the song, you ever watch those videos on like social media that are like, the music makes it, it's like a horror film with romance music or a romance film with horror music, and it like totally changes the vibe? I was listening to Cough Syrup by Young the Giant, and that made like a joyride. It was so much fun. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna listen to music on rides more often now. That was like really fun. But it was also my last ride, which means I have my total wait time calculated and the total time it took me to ride rides. I don't think Sage is quite done, but he got here later than me. I think we're neck and neck. So I guess I'll go find him.
Didn't get too wet, lots of fun. But it's currently 11:26. We did pass the 3-minute mark threshold waiting in this lightning lane, which means for every single ride we rode today, we didn't wait more than 3 minutes. That's wild. Also 11:26 means I spent about only 2.5 hours in the parks, so not bad. Let's go find Quincy.
Time for the math portion of today's video.
Yeah.
Where we find out whether or not multipass was actually worth it. So final numbers, I rode everything with 49 minutes of waiting in 2.5 hours from when I stepped into the park.
Okay, I rode everything, waited 8 minutes and 32 seconds.
For everything?
For everything. But also 2.5 hours.
Ah! So, moral of the story, Lightning Lane Multipass not worth it in this park.
Yes, but single pass is worth it.
Single pass is worth it. If you don't want to do single pass, you can always rope drop or wait till the last minute to ride Flight of Passage.
That's true.
If you are park hopping and you want to get multi-pass, it is an option to buy it for Animal Kingdom. Use your first Lightning Lane in Animal Kingdom to get the cheaper price and then use it in the other park.
Yep.
I actually don't recommend this. I would budget for the higher priced park because you'll get the higher priority Lightning Lanes. So if you're doing Animal Kingdom hopping to any other park, go for the multi-pass in the other park. The only park hopping day you wouldn't need it, Epcot. I think you could do both of these parks without it, but if you're hopping into Hollywood Studios, hopping into Magic Kingdom, just buy Lightning Lane for your second park so you can book the good rides over there.
I also think the difference is I had a very relaxed day. I slept in a little bit.
Yeah.
I had some coffee in between walking.
Yeah.
8 minutes in line. Sounds like a perfect day to me.
Yeah, and I obviously did spend more time in line, although again, none of these waits were over 20 minutes. So it's just, is it worth paying to not wait 20 minutes?
If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe.
Now go watch us do our Lightning Lane experiment over in Disney's Hollywood Studios. A little bit more interesting over there.
Or for fun, if you want to watch Murder Mystery, that's like a fun episode
yeah, you can watch
too.
that one. We really like that one.
Yeah!
That's like our child.